time for your weekly dose of pop culture
with Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
Is that better? Is there sound now? Hello and welcome. It's Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. I am one of your hosts, Kathy Walker. My brother Kenny is on the way, and I know I was saying he was delayed because of technical difficulties. Now it looks like I'm delayed because of technical difficulties. There was problems with the sound, but now, okay, I got a text message. She's saying yes, there is something with the sound, and it looks like there's something with StreamYard. So StreamYard is doing something funky. We are going to move some things around and get some other things going because StreamYard is not letting me in. So hello, cousin Lisa in the house. No sound, but then she said, yes, now there is sound. I hear you, and I realized I did something kind of funky, and that was really funky. So we're just gonna techno geek out and make all the mistakes. And hey, it's a Saturday night, and my brother's having some trouble with StreamYard. So hopefully, maybe he needs to reboot his computer, or something. But I guess that's Kenny is nearby, so he is listening. I could not hear you at first, but now it's fine. Thank you, Brother Ed is my brother from another mother who jumps on here every once in a while to help us out. Our plan tonight, originally we were going to talk games and gaming, and actually last week we were talking all about the Marvel universe and some of our favorite shows with my favorite nephew. Okay, my only nephew, but George had joined us to hang out in the stream and kind of kick it with us. But we were going to talk about gaming, and again, it's a show about pop culture, so it's all kinds of pop culture. It's TV, it's music, it's whatever we feel like waxing poetic on or about. So that was our original plan, but we realized that coming out last week was this Snyder's cut of what's it called? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm doing something weird there. It's going to be technical problems all night long. The Snyder Cut of Justice League. So that was our topic for conversation tonight. But without my brother, you know, you know me. I know some comic book stuff. I don't know every comic book thing. So me waxing poetic about the comic book universe or world is not going to be that exciting. Uh, but if you have seen the Schneider Cut and Zack Snyder, and I think and again, my thoughts on it probably have less to do about comic books and the DC world as much as maybe my thoughts about cancel culture. And I think and again, I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. And I feel like when people do things and they're not appropriate, it needs to be called out. It definitely needs to be called out. And I believe there was some issues with some sexual harassment or something with Zack Snyder, which is why he was pulled from the movie. And now with Josh Whedon, who actually, the theatrical release was directed by him, and actually they're listed as co-directors in the IMDb credits. But now with Josh Whedon having some allegations against him, I think more so than saying, "Oh, everything these people have done ever is wrong," let's call out the behavior and let's talk about why those behaviors have been accepted and should they be accepted in our society, and if we are moving forward. People talk about a lot of things, but again, if you're going to drill it down to basically the one commandment that we all should be following is love thy neighbor as thyself. And if we're doing that, then there is no reason to have these kind of allegations and things that are happening. But in any case, hopefully Kenny's stream will get fixed, and we will welcome him in and talk about that more. I will share the link to the stream. So if there is someone out there who wants to come on and give their thoughts to the Schneider Cut, we will stick that in the comments section. So if you want to jump on and be a part of tonight's show, hey, let's have at it. Let's have some fun with it. But I did have something I wanted to share with you all because, and this is, I guess, a pop culture moment for me at least. During the week, I had a chance to appear on a show, on a YouTuber's show. Pat Flynn is a YouTuber who helps people with their business and becoming entrepreneurs and gives a lot of advice. And at the start of the pandemic, which was March 16th, 2020, he started just streaming, kind of like we've been streaming once a week. He was doing it every day, a daily stream. He called it the income stream, where he was giving tips and advice. And one of the things he talks about is his equipment and live streaming, and it's something that kind of inspired me to kind of live stream. I started just kind of playing around on the Saturday night, streaming on Facebook about the movies of the 80s and the music of the 80s that I love. And oh my goodness, you have to love the movies and music of the 80s. Come on, why not? So I don't know, we might get striked for playing this, but for his 365th day of streaming, he streamed live for 365 days straight. So on that last day, 365, he streamed for 365 minutes. And I'm thinking, wow, I can barely do an hour. And that's with the help of my brother. Oh, he left because of a death in the family? I thought okay. Then I had my information wrong. All right. Okay. See, that's why I need Kenny here. I need you here. Kenny, you know what? Try your phone. Maybe if you come in on your phone, we can stream through that. So you should be able to stream through that StreamYard link on your phone. See if that will work to at least get you in on the stream. So as he's working through those, hopefully he will be back, because I think that's part of the magic, that it's not just me here rambling on. But if we can't get them, we might cut short tonight, and that's okay. But that's why we shared the link with you. So if there's anybody out there that wants to come on in and kind of hang with us and talk a little Snyder film, I wanted to share a little bit of this with you because I had a chance to be on somebody else's stream, and I thought that was kind of cool. So if you guys will indulge me, since we're here hanging out, kind of waiting for Kenny,
with
we'll
a
check
$20
this out.
gift card for you as well, Dawn. That's going to go to all of you. So
And
the way to
okay,
redeem that
probably
would be to
could've
send
did
me
a
an
better
email,
job
pat@patflynn.com.
queuing it up.
Once again,
I
that's
thought I
pat
queued it up
at
well, but I guess I didn't.
patflynn.com, and you will chat with Jess. That is so cool. That is so cool that we got the $20 and then Dawn, and like, that's so awesome. I'm so happy. That is super dope. That is super dope. We're going to do one more giveaway at the end. One more giveaway at the very end before we have some closing and final remarks. But I'm going to turn the music off for now because I want to make some space for our amazing special guest who's coming in. And she's chilling in the green room patiently right now. She's all ready with her
This is
excellent
me, like
camera
I'm
work.
chilling in the green
She and
room.
I actually had a discussion the other
But I
day.
was a special
and
guest. I
it
mean,
was really
come
great. And
on.
I just asked her right then and there. I'm like, can you come on the show? Because I think everybody would love to see you and love to hang out, and we could have a fun chat and talk about how things have sort of changed in good and bad ways and just kind of get real. So let's all welcome our good friend, none other than Kathy, aka K-Walk Comedy. What's up?
Hi, Pat. Hi, income streamers. Team Flynn. Hashtag quarantine. Love you
Yes.
all. And I am so excited to be here and to be a part of day 365. Because I have to tell you, Pat, day 200, I think it is. I think I cried all day after
Did
that
you?
particular stream.
That was the one with Grandma Goody sharing the fun little felt play. And we talked about a lot of things in there. We got real in there too. I definitely felt it too. And by then we were over halfway through the number that we were going to do. I think by then I kind of realized that we were going to go for a year for sure and probably end it there. And here you are on the final episode of the income stream. And again, it's not the
I
last
am
time we're going to go
honored.
live, but I'm honored that you're here too. And for those who don't know, Kathy is a tremendous member of the community here. She is a moderator, and she's held down the chat with grace. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about the pandemic, because I know it has hit you in a way for sure, with what you were doing before and sort of like what you're doing now. So when the pandemic went down, what was life like for you before we all went into lockdown, before the income stream? What were you doing? And then what does the pandemic sort of put you into now?
And again, I kind of take it from your comment of what does this make possible? I know before the pandemic, and it was actually interesting. I actually traveled. I went to Florida. I went to Podfest, and I was, just eager to get going on my podcast, and even went to Philadelphia to visit family, and just really excited. And then by the time I flew back or came back, it was just, everything was just shutting down. But as an educator, we were getting kind of praised at the beginning for our frontline work because there was still work to do. And even though a large population of our school building was closed down, as an administrator, I was in the building. So I was often working and even just shifting roles from being an administrator that dealt with discipline a lot of the times. I was in a van going around our community delivering meals, making sure our kids got fed and making sure everybody was taken care of. So the pandemic kind of shifted priorities. So it wasn't all about the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, but just about the connections and taking care of each other and looking out for each other. And I think that is what kind of drew me into the income stream and being in the chat and the people that I've kind of gotten to know through the interwebs. And so if it pops up, I'll stop in. And even though I don't have to study, I'll study with Paximus for a little while or hang out with Hey Archer on a Thursday night to get nerdy. I've even stream on Saturday nights with my brother as we explain pop culture in our own way. So again, for me, this.
So there you have it. Just a little taste of my interview, I guess debut, and then their internet interview debut. Is that such a thing? Is it a thing? I don't know if it's a thing or not, but I did have a chance to talk with Pat Flynn. He actually does a couple of podcasts. One is called Ask Pat that I've been featured on, and actually, I will be featured on the upcoming episode of that podcast. I, by the way, have my own podcast, A Year of Leading Dangerously. And in that interview, I talk a little bit more about it. We'll put a link to that interview. I'll update the links in the description so that you can kind of check that out. Speaking of links in the description, there is a link in the description where you can buy us a coffee. It's buymeacoffee.com/kwalkcomedy. And if you go there, you can help support the channel and the show. Speaking of which, supporting the show is Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture, so it would not be complete. And it looks like Kenny has remedied some of the connection problems. So please welcome to Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture, Kenny Walker.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can
Can you
see
hear me?
you. Mm-hmm.
Did you hear
We
me
can
and
see
see
you, we
me?
can hear you. We can
Okay,
almost
good.
reach out and feel you.
Okay, good. Because my phone, I'm on my phone, and I'm restarting my computer. My phone froze, so I don't know what I look like or what's going on because everything's frozen on my end. But we're going to talk about the Justice League Snyder Cut, which is, you know what? Thank you everybody for sticking with us. Thank you for
Thanks for
hanging
hanging
out
out.
with us.
Yes, definitely.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate you dealing with these technical
See,
difficulties.
audio's good. They can hear you. They can hear you. They can see you. I know
Okay,
I can see
great,
you. So, hey,
great, great.
we
Great. I
roll
can't
with
see
it,
you.
baby. Just roll with it.
Roll with it, baby. Roll with it, baby. Okay.
So,
So anyway,
okay, I have to tell you, like, again, with the Schneider cut, it is 4 hours long. That's a
hmm
long time.
I
Four
had to watch it
hours
in
is a
parts.
long
I
flipping
had to watch it
time.
in parts.
Yeah, okay. I actually, well, okay, I'm not going to say I watched it. I watched the whole 4 hours. I did watch it in some parts, but I did watch a good chunk of it, like all at once.
So here's the thing too. You were talking about cancel culture. Zack Snyder. And I'm trying to remember whether it was his daughter or his sister, but he had death in the family,
Oh, wow. Okay.
which means that he left the show because at the end of the movie it says for autumn.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah,
and
I
that
remember
autumn
that.
was, and I'm trying to remember, and I can't look it up because I have computer problems here,
Mm-hmm.
but it was one of those that he left, and I'm trying to think it was I'm trying to say it was his sister who passed away.
Okay.
That's why he left that. So it
Okay.
was a sexual harassment on
But
him.
are you sure though that there wasn't something with sexual
No,
harassment
no,
with him? Okay.
no,
All right.
no,
I thought there was.
nothing with
Okay.
Zack
I'm
Snyder
sorry. I'm
and
not going
none of that stuff like
I
that.
didn't mean to throw that out there in the
Yeah, don't throw that
interwebs.
out there. We're gonna retract that statement. So Josh Wheaton took it over.
Okay. Now, and again, in my mind, that excited me because I'm a big Buffy fan and the Josh verse. And so when you move around, Kenny, by the way, your camera moves and it moves a lot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll try to stay still.
Okay. just so you know. Um,
I'll try to stay still.
okay. Or prop the camera up maybe so that you don't have to.
I'm trying to chart. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Oh, I got something. This is gonna be great. Hold on.
Okay. All right. We'll let him get whatever's going to be great. And so all apologies. I apologize to Paul Schneider and for getting that wrong, but I still stand by my statements on the cancel culture because it's getting a little cray cray. So again, y'all just need to cut the bad behavior out. I love it. And just like it was so long, I wrote a song about it. I'm telling you, I could have written a book about it because 4 hours for a movie is just way too long. And I think that's really what the intention was. Like with WandaVision, it probably could have been two-hour movies if you clumped all those little half-hour segments together. But again, Falcon and Winter Soldier is coming out too as well. So I think Kenny's back with whatever he's
Yeah,
got.
I'm back. I'm back. This is
But
my
wait,
this is my what? This is
as
my Captain America phone holder. So we're gonna put the phone on that. I'm
you
that
know
much
what?
of a geek.
Okay, besides the fact that you have a Captain America phone holder, because that's an issue all unto itself, you could have just set the phone on the Captain America phone holder. You didn't have to show us that. You didn't have to take us there.
When
Did
I
you
when I
really?
when, look one day when I have my bed made, I'll show you my Black Panther sheets.
Lovely, lovely. That is just what the
And for
ladies are
today's
craving.
show,
Okay.
I have on my
Um,
for
okay, it
today's
had to
show.
deal with tragedy of his family. Oh, it was his daughter. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now for
Oh,
today's show,
wow.
I have
That's
my
intense.
Batman,
Wow.
Superman, Wonder Woman, Trinity shirt,
Okay.
and I also have on my Batman versus Superman underwear.
Lovely. Way, way, way too much information, but thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing.
So look. Let's dig into this.
So, and okay, so here's what I said because I was excited with Josh Whedon because I'm a big Buffy fan and Angel fan, and one of the things I like about both Buffy and Angel and all the sci-fi I like. I'm not a big sci-fi person, but what draws me into the sci-fi is its ability to poke fun at itself, and when there is humor in sci-fi. Um, Although I'm really looking forward and excited about them putting the work of Octavia Butler, who is my one of my favorite authors by far. If you don't know Octavia Butler, look her up. If you didn't have to read Parable of the Sower in college, you that should be on your list to go back and read. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to lecture you, but read her. She is that good. And if you can't read that, then go read Kindred. Cause yeah, but anyway, I digress. But anyway, but I like sci-fi because a lot of times it could tell stories about what's happening in the present, or can post these analogies so that we can learn something and we could be better for it. But in any case, but I also like it with a splash of humor because I like funny. I like the funny, and that's why I always love shows like Buffy and Angel and those shows because oh yeah, you had your monsters and sci-fi and all that other stuff, but you also had a touch of humor where it didn't take itself so seriously. And the I guess the Whedon cut, or I don't know what are they calling that? Does it have a name or?
They call it Whedon. They call it a Whedon tragedy, just the Justice League movie.
Okay, so the Justice League. Okay, you're calling it a tragedy, but see, I like the humor in it because, like, and again, when Wonder Woman is like, "Children, I work with children." It's just the way she says it. Stuff like that
I
cracks
get
me
that.
up.
I get that. But when Batman in the Justice League in the Whedon version, and the Justice League version, the Whedon version rather, when Superman comes to life, and Batman gets in a fight, and Batman's on the ground, and Batman makes a joke while he's on the ground.
Hmm.
Is not characteristic of something Batman would do. You don't know how much the fanboys and the nerds hated that one line that Batman made as he
Hmm.
was on the ground after a fight. Like that.
It
That
was
like
it was out of it took him out of the character. Well, and
yeah.
again, they made the Flash like it was almost excessive with his. He was just a little too much. Now, the one thing I did like about the Snyder cut was that it kind of pivoted the storyline in that it kind of put Cyborg more at the center, and that father-son relationship, and it kind of fleshed it out a little
Well,
more. Whereas in the other version, it was just outlined. Of course, that meant Joe Morton had to die, which nobody likes that because love me some Joe Morton, but I thought it kind of gave you some insight into the characters. Plus, you got to see I guess the scene they showed as kind of like a teaser, the boat scene actually was its own scene. And with, what's his name?
Jason
Lex,
Momoa.
uh, huh? Lex Luthor. And
Oh, Lex Luthor,
like
yes.
the jail scene and the boat scene and everything, but also that dream sequence where the Joker showed up because I was watching. I had watched like the first hour or so, and then I was like floating through some trailers, and in the trailer, I'm like, the Joker. Wait, the Joker's in this bad boy. So that's what had me kind of locked in for the other 3.5 hours because I'm like, okay, I gotta wait for the Joker. So I imagine this version was more, and oh, you know what? Steppenwolf. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place because
Yeah, you
I
are.
had made
And,
some
and I
mental
was about to
notes to
make a
talk about
point as
this.
you were talking about Cyborg.
Hmm.
Ray Fisher had a falling out with Warner Brothers
Okay.
over Josh Whedon
Oh, okay.
because Ray Fisher kind of insinuated Josh Whedon being unfair, being hard, making it very difficult on set, and Josh Whedon,
I think they were calling him a bully.
yeah, he was a bully on set, and it makes actually, and you're not gonna like this, it actually makes Josh Whedon look a little racist.
Probably. Well, I mean, half of the stars of the show I was mentioning of Buffy, like everybody from Charisma Carpenter to Sarah Parker. What's the tall
Sarah
lady?
Jessica Parker.
No, Sarah Jessica Parker's not in Buffy. Sarah
Sarah Gellar.
somebody Geller. Yeah.
There we go.
Sarah somebody with three names. And even Michelle Trachtenberg who played Dawn, you know, and Emma Caulfield, like a bunch of the female stars definitely came out with just some not too flattering comments and things about Mr. Whedon. So, hey, you know, if you
Well,
did
one
it,
of the
you did.
things was Ray Fisher.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. Sarah
Yeah.
Michelle Gellar. I can't get that.
So, well, one of the things about Ray Fisher's beef with everything was that his parts got dramatically cut.
Oh yeah. Well, again, when you watch that 4 hour movie, he played a much bigger role, and his character was
So
more central to what was going on.
and in the Snyder cut, you know, in the Whedon cut rather, let's start from there. In the Whedon cut, the cyborg role was cut drastically.
Hmm.
In the Snyder cut, you got more of a backstory of Cyborg, and Cyborg made more of a difference in them winning. Just as you got more of a story from Ezra Miller's character of Barry Allen the Flash,
Hmm.
who had more of an impact on them winning.
Right.
Um, that was, that was something that you had to that
Also,
was something.
it looks like in this and by the way, we probably should have prefaced tonight too to say that spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen the Schneider Cut. And again, you probably have to watch it like a mini series, maybe an hour here, an hour there, because it is very, very long.
Yeah, it's very long. It's
Hmm.
4 hours long. I'm going to watch it again at some point. I like the way, I know George and I had a joke about this um, last week, and I said I believe there's more characterization, and George said, "Well, with 4 hours, there better be more characterization."
I was
And
about
of
to say,
course,
you got
there
time to
was
dig into your
there was
characters.
one. Yeah.
You know what? In the original version, they also kind of was playing up a kind of Batman Wonder Woman kind of flirty thing, don't you think? where
Yeah, and
that was
now
taken out of this.
they played it up a little bit in this one also.
Okay, I didn't sense it as much in this particular one.
But
Also,
even in comic books, there's always like a. There used to be at one point in comic books a flirty relationship between Batman and Wonder Woman.
hmm
Um, but see, here's the thing. Ray Fisher. Here's what I think should happen. Warner Brothers should make a because Ray Fisher has totally thrown everybody under the bus. Rightfully so, we find out because his part was bigger.
right.
And Whedon kind of took him out totally. Um, Warner Brothers should apologize to Ray Fisher. They should issue an apology. They should make amends to Ray Fisher, give him whatever he wants, because I need to see a Cyborg story done by Zack Snyder. I need to see a Justice League 2 done by Zack Snyder. I need this next Flash movie to be done, and hell, do it with Zack Snyder. Because
So you're all in for Zack
this
Snyder.
movie was I put this I got somebody said something to me like, wait, you're going too fast, another nerd friend of mine. And I said, I put this 4-hour Justice League movie on the level of Endgame.
Okay.
That's how good it was for me.
Okay.
And
I thought it was a little too long, and I thought the music. I guess I kind of enjoyed the. I kind of felt like the first. I felt like the first movie probably was missing something. It was missing a sense of depth, and I was ready to see kind of the Justice League all kind of working together, and it seemed like there were these big gaps. I did not understand like the Russian family or whatever, like when they were at the nuclear plant and
I'm
the family.
glad
I was like, it was so choppy and
I'm
weird,
glad it was
and they
Zack
weren't
Snyder
in this
version
at
again.
all, which was fine. But I was thinking if they were in it, would they explain what that was about? Because that just seemed really weird and choppy.
Yeah, I'm glad they took that out. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things they took out. Like they added in one line that was bothering fans a lot. At one point, they were digging up Superman's body.
Uh huh.
And while they were digging up Superman's body, in the first one, they were just, it was just Cyborg and Flash out there by themselves digging up Superman's body.
Right.
This time when they did it, it was Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman. And Aquaman and Wonder Woman were sitting on the side talking. The Cyborg and Flash were digging up the body. And Flash looked at him and says, we could do this like in about 10 milliseconds, right?
Right.
And he said, yeah, I know, but they had a reason for doing it the way that they were doing it. So, it explained a lot. Like it was a lot of things they took out. It seems like in this version, Zack Snyder took out this dumb stuff that fans hated that Josh Whedon put in there, and left in the good stuff and added on to that good stuff. Now, the reason this movie was so long, 4 hours long,
Mm-hmm.
because you got to think about it. And I was looking at a post by our friend Rico,
Okay.
and Rico said that this should have been 2 movies. Well, technically, Zack Snyder had one chance to show you what he could do, so it had to be a 4-hour movie. Technically, yeah, you probably could have made this a 2-hour movie, but he had one chance to show you the vision that he wanted, and it had to be a 4-hour movie.
Okay.
So that's why the movie is so long,
Right.
because had Warner.
He was on a vision quest.
Huh? But
He
here's the
was on a
thing.
vision quest.
Yeah, he was on a vision quest. And here's the thing. With the comic book fans and the nerds, Warner Brothers has a habit of messing up a lot of movies and messing up a lot of their properties and not doing them right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the closest that Warner Brothers, the Zack Snyder cut, is the closest that Warner Brothers has ever come to doing anything right. Anything. And I'm including the Batman movies with this also. And the Superman movies.
Whoa, you're including like the Dark Knight and...
Yes, the Dark Knight was not... Christopher Nolan's Batman was not canon. He,
But
he
wasn't
was
it
doing
closer though than some of the earlier
no,
works?
no.
No.
Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck were the closest thing to the comic book Batman that you will ever find.
Oh wow.
Michael Keaton,
Hmm.
Val Kilmer, and Ben Affleck were the closest thing to the actual Batman character from the books that
Wow.
you will find. Period. Fight me
Hey,
on this. I'm
cousin
saying.
Kyrie, cousin Energy in the house. Just want to. Oh, that's right. You don't have your phone, so you don't have your computer, so you
Yeah,
can't see the
I
comments
can't
on the
say hi.
screen.
Whoever's in the house, hey y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm glad you guys are here. I can't even see myself right now. So, but in any event, yeah, that is the thing,
So, hey, and you can answer this for me because you know all the and again, for those of you just joining us, welcome. It's Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. This week we are talking all things DC's Snyder Cut, the Justice League movie. It is streaming now on HBO Max, and it is a 4 hour long movie. We do want to warn you that we pay no mind to spoilers. So the spoiler alert alarm is on the whole show. So if you haven't seen it, just know that we might be spoiling it for you. Sorry. We apologize. We apologize. But spoiler alert. So in any case, what was I going to say? I wanted to ask you because there was this whole thing about Robin. Um, do you think we'll get a movie from the DC verse, kind of exploring what happened with Robin?
I'm hoping. I mean, what everyone would love to see is a Ben Affleck Batman solo movie.
But I thought he was done with
That's what we
Batman.
would
Is
love.
Ben
That's what we would
Affleck
love to
not
see.
done with Batman?
You know what? With these actors and the way, I think Ben Affleck might be done, might say he's done with Batman.
Hmm.
But after this Snyder Cut is released,
Hmm.
and if you give Ben Affleck the right incentive,
He'll be back.
I think you can get him back because that's what the fans want. The fans, I mean, no disrespect to the new Batman movie coming out. That's a young Batman starting out, which I'm sure will be great.
Hmm.
But the fans would love to see
Who's
another
starring in
Ben
that
Affleck.
new Batman?
Who's the guy from Twilight?
Pattinson.
Yeah,
Robert
Pattinson is the new
Pattinson.
Batman.
Hmm.
Pattinson is the new Batman. That's a bat. See, here's the thing about Warner Brothers too, which they where they messed up at. Um, they made a multiverse, and they let you recognize that there is a multiverse.
Hmm.
So that movie already has a different Commissioner Gordon. That movie is in another multiverse. They don't connect their movies like Marvel connects their movies,
Okay.
which is confusing for their fans, and why Marvel the Marvel movie universe is much more popular and better than the DC universe, movie universe, cinematic universe. Um, However, the DC animated universe is way better than anything. The animated universe is awesome. The animated universe is great. For some reason, it's different. So you have the different universes in the DC CW and the DC cinema, and they just kind of mess with the multiverse so much.
Mm.
And some of us comic fans, we have a theory that the Warner Brother executive have no idea what they're doing with these properties. They don't. They really don't.
They probably
Because
have never read a comic book in their whole life.
yeah, yeah,
So,
and that's what I talk about when I talk about with my friend Eric, when I talk about my friend Wayne, who are comic book guys. When I talk about it with George, you know, these DC execs have never read a comic book. They're trying to go after the dollar. They're trying to go
so
after the
cause,
money in the wrong
cause,
way.
cause like the Joker, the appearance by the Joker, that was Jared Leto.
Yes,
Now he played the Joker and he's played the Joker before, correct?
yes.
What what did he play the Joker in? Was that the Suicide
He played the
Squad?
Joker in Batman versus. He played the Joker in the first Justice League. He played the Joker in
The first Justice League. He
the
wasn't.
well, yeah, the original Justice League movie. There was a scene with him. He played the Joker in
There was a
Suicide
scene
Squad.
with him. I have to go back and
Um,
look at it again because I
you know
missed
what?
it.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong. It might have been Batman versus Superman.
Maybe
It might
Batman
have been the
versus
first Justice League.
Superman.
But he also played the Joker in Suicide Squad.
I was going to say, yeah, he played the Joker in the Suicide Squad, so he was back.
And no one liked this Joker. His Joker to fanboys is like the worst Joker ever.
Oh wow!
Like after you do, like after
So I
you
guess
have
we're not going to see
after,
Joaquin Phoenix. No.
after you go from Jack Nicholson, who's classic as a Joker, to Heath Ledger, who was iconic as a Joker. You go to Jared Leto, who's doing something totally out of Joker pocket, and it just didn't go. I don't know whether they were trying to modernize them or
Hmm.
whatever. This Joker we saw at the end of the Justice League was a better Joker. Jared Leto played a better Joker than what he did in the Suicide Squad movie.
Okay.
This like
It
the
seems like
Joker in
this
Suicide.
Joker was trying to kind of uh, get that Joaquin Phoenix energy.
Yeah, the Joker we saw in yeah, he was. The Joker we saw um in Suicide Squad was more of a thug.
Hmm.
And that's not what the Joker is.
Okay.
The Joker we saw in um in the Christopher Nolan with Heath Ledger, and the Joker we saw in the Michael Keaton Batman one, um, Tim Burton Batman, that was a Joker that was crazy, unpredictable, not a thug, just a crazy guy trying to get his way and trying to do things. And Heath Ledger explained it perfectly when he explained how the Joker is, just, he's just a dog chasing a car, doesn't know why, like he's just doing it.
Right.
So that's what that's what the Joker's supposed to be. So and that thug Joker just was not popular. This Joker though we saw at the end of the Justice League was a little bit more crazy
Hmm.
and trying to taunt Batman and everything else. That's the Joker we needed. That's the Joker we wanted. Jared Leto got it right in this one.
Okay.
He got it right.
So he has
Um,
redeemed himself
he has redeemed himself in this
among
one.
the comic book crowd.
Yes, yes, and also too this Justice League movie. Um, One of the things that was left out was the addition of the Martian Manhunter, which showed up in this movie. As much as we would love to see him in battle, technically, the Martian Manhunter at the end, you see the Martian Manhunter approach Bruce Wayne. Technically, that was supposed to be John Stewart, Green Lantern, but once again, the execs got in the way and told Zack Snyder he couldn't use a Green Lantern.
Okay. Now,
See,
is
the
that
execs
because they
get in
didn't
the
own
way.
the rights to it or something?
Yeah, yeah, the Warner Brother execs get in the way, and the stories get messed up.
Ah, okay. Now,
That's
okay.
exactly.
Now, the guy that because basically in this movie, in the uh, in the first version of Justice League, Steppenwolf was our main villain,
Yes.
and I know the Steppenwolf in this version, I noticed like decidedly it had a very different look, even though it looked like some of the same scenes, but he had a very different look as far as his costume being very shiny, very
Yeah, they redid the CGI of Steppenwolf.
okay.
That's not really how Steppenwolf looks in the comics,
Mm.
but Steppenwolf is supposed to be
It
um a
looks like
very dangerous person.
Cyborg's CGI looked different too. Am I
Yeah,
right about?
well, I and that if I had to criticize anything, um I would say they went over the top.
Hmm.
They went over the top with Cyborg's um look. because he is
Okay.
supposed to have some human looks about him. Like
Mm-hmm.
one of his arms is supposed to be human, and parts of his body is supposed to be human. So they did go over the top with Cyborg being totally mechanical,
Mm-hmm.
or showing him
Now,
as
is this
totally mechanical.
picture more the first one or the one that we just saw? Because I think the Snyder Cut one, they had pictures of them. Even Superman's had more of a black look to it, a
Yeah, well,
gray and
the
black look
Superman
to it.
costume was the black costume, which is a costume that Superman wore in the comic books when he came back from the dead.
Right.
So that
Although I
is
was glad they kind of got rid of the cheesy stuff at the beginning with the where Superman was doing that whole interviewee kind of thing. That was, I thought, a little cheesy, but that was just
yeah,
me.
yeah. Well, that's what Zack Snyder did. He got rid of a lot of cheese.
Yeah. I mean,
He got
and
rid of a lot.
again, I kind of like some of the cheese, or I like some of the comedy and some of the humor to it. So that part I kind of missed. I gotta confess that I did like that we got more backstory. Um, Also, oh, because we got Willem Dafoe too. Because again, Willem Dafoe, um, you see him in Aquaman movie, and I
Yes.
loved him in the Aquaman movie, but it was nice to see him here as well. Although there was something about Aquaman being missing that I didn't get, or was that the dream sequence that I'm thinking about?
Might be the dream sequence you're thinking about.
Okay, maybe it was the dream sequence. Maybe.
Aquaman is very powerful. I like one thing I like about this. They showed you how powerful Aquaman really is.
Mm-hmm.
Aquaman is very powerful, and we got to see that. Aquaman actually is like Wonder Woman level strength.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good. I'm glad we got to see that a little bit better.
Okay.
Um, so hold on a second. Let me see something here for a minute.
Okay. Oh,
See
you're still trying to
something.
get your system up.
Yeah, yeah.
No worries, no worries.
I'm trying to fix it. But no,
We're
but no,
rolling on with
Aquaman.
it. I don't care.
Yeah, but no,
I'm up
Aquaman.
here playing with the lights anyway, so I'm
Yeah,
just
okay.
like,
Well, Aquaman is a very powerful person. I'm glad we got to see more. See, in this Snyder Cut, we got 4 hours, and it's very long. It's a very hard watch for 4 hours. The 4 hours does go by quick, um,
mhm,
but you get more of a backstory on people that had no backstory, like Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg. So you got to see why Aquaman was hesitant at first to help out. You got to see why Aquaman, um, didn't want to be bothered, and what his problem was. The chip on his shoulder. Um, the only thing he didn't do in the Justice League movie was actually show Aquaman's father, like they show in the Aquaman movie. But you still got a good sense of um, the character what Aquaman was, more so than you got in the Whedon cut, because in the Whedon cut you got that this was a very arrogant guy from the sea, and why should he be so arrogant? Well, you find out in this movie, he's actually the king. That's why he should be so arrogant. His mother left him. That's why he should be so arrogant. He's mad at the world because he doesn't know why he doesn't understand why his mother left him, and he blames the Atlantean people. So when Princess Diana comes up to him and says about them being at war, the Atlanteans and the Amazons, you
mhm,
know, he's like, I'm not really Atlantean. I got Atlantean blood, but I'm
right,
different. I don't even like my people. I don't blame you for not liking my people. So, you know, it's a whole thing with them. Um, After this movie,
mhm,
we definitely need a Wonder Woman 3 because, she's under the impression that her people are dead and they're not. Because Steppenwolf told her that they were.
right.
But, and at the end we see her holding the bow and arrow and knowing that, I guess assuming that they are alive. But I mean, it's a whole thing. Um, but yeah, so yeah. As far as the Flash goes, they took out less of the silly lines with the Flash, and actually in this version, you got to see that Barry Allen is actually a scientist.
Okay.
And the Whedon version, Barry Allen was just this guy who ran fast, who told dumb jokes,
Yeah, it
and
was
and,
kind of
and
like
got in the
he was
way.
the comic
Like,
relief in
yeah,
the.
and he kept tripping over himself all the time. And in this cut, he tripped over himself once, but he tripped over himself while he was trying to help Wonder Woman recover.
Mm.
So, it's a whole thing. This cut was like reading a comic book to me.
Oh, okay.
And
So
that's
it
the
was
way I
closer to
judge
the
the
comic
movies.
book.
Yeah, that's the way I judge the movies. If they're like reading a comic book, all the Avengers movies are like reading a comic book.
Ah, okay.
Um, Batman with
The
Keaton
lights.
was like reading a comic book. Um, Batman with Kilmer was like reading a comic book. Batman with the Christopher Nolan Batman with what's the guy who played Batman? Christopher Bale. Um, it was kind of like reading a comic book, but there was some characteristics of Batman that you would never have Batman do. Like in the third Batman movie, he had got hurt and he stopped being Batman for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he became Batman again, he exploded himself and left Gotham under somebody that he barely knew who was barely trained. That's not something Batman would do. And even to the point where Batman left for 5 years because he was limping around his mansion, that's not something Batman would do. So Nolan, I don't think, has ever read a Batman comic book.
So
Um,
if
you
you've
know,
never read a Batman comic book, you should
and
not
you
be touching the
and the thing about
franchise.
it is that Ben Affleck is friends with Kevin Smith and other guys like that. But Ben
Mm-hmm.
Affleck actually read a Batman comic book. I would guarantee Ben Affleck probably, when he got the role, even before he got the role, probably had some Batman comic books in his collection.
Ah.
Um, and he knew what the Batman character would do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, especially being friends with somebody like Kevin Smith, Ben Affleck would have to know. Christopher Nolan and Christopher Bale probably never read a Batman comic book, so they didn't know. That's why Christopher Bale comes up with this like this voice that was horrible, and
And
everybody's like,
you are
"Oh, this is
slamming
because
them.
Christopher Bale's the best
So hey,
Batman."
and again, uh, for those listening, we had a rough start because Kenny was having some internet trouble. He's joining us on the phone, which actually is turning out to be a pretty good connection until he makes those faces. That face you need to stay away from. But we started a little late, so we're gonna go a few minutes as we talk Snyder Cut. This is Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. We do it every Saturday night, picking different topics and different things to talk about in pop culture. We thank all of you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We want to invite you to support the show if you can. And if you check out the link in the description, buy me a coffee /KWalk Comedy. And that's one way to kind of support the show. So, and actually we also are going to have to start a GoFundMe just to up Kenny's equipment game, but he's been pretty spot on tonight and not fading out, which is excellent, so that we can get all these insights, especially since we're talking about the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League, which again is streaming now on HBO Max. It is 4 hours, so it is a commitment. You might want to watch it in chunks, an hour here, an hour there. But I think if you watch it,
Sorry.
it doesn't. It fills in a as far as story is concerned, it fills in much more than the original Justice League movie. It does not have the humor, which for me, that's I kind of like it. I'm not a super. I'm not a not superhero, but I'm not a comic book nerd. So I don't know all the essence of the comic books. So I'm sure the that's why Kenny's here. He's here for that, and seems like the Snyder Cut actually holds true to the characters that are in the Snyder Cut, and it also, I think, even just for watching the movie, kind of fleshes out some of the characters because, like you said, Cyborg. I thought it was odd too because in the mythology or in the movies or the DC universe as far as movies, and I know they're not as well connected as the Marvel movies, but we've had an Aquaman movie, so we got to see some of his origin. We've had the two Wonder Woman movies, even though 84 has gotten slammed. But Cyborg, we still don't know a lot about as far as his backstory, and I'm sure there's more to Flash's backstory, but at least for Flash, there was a TV show to kind of fill in some of those gaps. But
Well,
go
there's a
ahead.
movie coming out
There is a movie coming out
for Flash.
for Flash. Okay.
There's a movie coming out for Flash.
All right. Now, does it star Ezra Miller or someone
Yes,
else? Okay.
yes, that movie stars Ezra Miller, and that young lady who he rescued in the Justice League is Iris Allen, and she will be in that movie also.
Ah, okay. All right.
So that I mean that's one of the things they left out that was cut. That was already filmed,
Mhm.
and Josh Whedon decided to just put that on the cutting room floor.
Okay. Wow.
So there's a lot of things that Josh Whedon
Just
decided to put on the cutting room floor
okay.
that
But
the
but what
fans
was
want
that
to see.
whole thing he brought in with that like I don't know what I'm saying Russian, but wherever I forgot where that power plant was, but that whole thing with the family and the bats that I guess thrived off of fear or whatever, and
We don't
what?
know. We
Okay,
don't know.
where did that come from? And what was going? Because that to
I
me
don't
that
know
made that
what.
movie a
I don't
little
know.
kind of like, huh?
I don't know
What?
what Josh Whedon was smoking, but he didn't need that, and we didn't need that, and it was just I don't know why. Nobody knows why. And
Well,
now that you
okay.
see this cut without the Russian
It's
family,
one of those mysteries we won't solve.
yeah, it will
Well,
never
hey,
solve that mystery.
well, we were
Now,
trying to solve a few mysteries here tonight. We thank you guys for hanging out with us.
well,
As okay, go
I,
ahead.
I don't know how much time we have. I do have one more thing to say. One of
Okay.
the things that the fans were looking forward to with this cut that they didn't get the first time was we got to look at the main true villain, which was Darkseid.
Oh, you know what?
Darkseid
Dark
is
Side. I'm sorry, but did they not use some of the same, makeup and techniques as Thanos? I'm sorry, there was something about Dark Side that reminded me of Thanos.
I'll be honest with you. I believe, and I'll have to check it just to make sure, but I believe Darkseid is older than Thanos in comic book history.
Ah, okay.
Darkseid is the new god, which
It'd be
is
funny if is there a point that those two franchises intersect? Marvel
Marvel
and
and
DC.
DC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do have a couple of books
Crossovers.
where they interact
Oh, okay.
and they have crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll get a Marvel DC crossover for a minute. At this point, I think the people in power will not let that happen.
Oh
Um,
man,
Notably, is the
that would
first.
make crazy money. Why
Yeah, well,
wouldn't
the
they do
first
it?
the first Marvel DC comic book that came out, it was Superman versus Spider Man because they were the most popular two in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Superman versus Spider Man, and then at one point you had, I
Who
believe,
won?
that I think they wound up teaming up and fighting together.
Ah, okay.
And then you had Batman. Batman at one point single handedly took out the Hulk. In comic books.
What?
They had they
Was he
had
Bruce Banner at the time? How did
no, he
that
was
happen?
the Hulk. Batman used the pressure point and took out the Hulk.
Batman took down the big guy. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Whatever.
They had the X-Men teamed up with the Teen Titans, which was a phenomenal book.
Wow.
Then they did something where they had the
So
Justice
come on.
League.
There's got to be money out there for that. People would watch
Yeah,
that. X Men
people.
and Teen
If they put
Titans.
that on screen,
Yeah.
people would lose their minds. They had the Justice League versus the Avengers, where Batman beat Captain America easily.
Okay. That I could see.
Yeah. Um, and then they had a thing called an anagram thing where they kind of had the Marvel heroes and DC heroes fight, and then something happened where they all merged. So you had different heroes merged together into one hero. So that was pretty interesting too. But in any event, I don't think for legal reasons we'll see a Marvel DC mix in a while.
In a
But let me
movie.
talk
Okay.
about Darkseid real quick.
Okay.
There was
Dark
a scene
Side.
at the end where you had Darkseid and his lair. And he was talking to Steppenwolf, and he was trying to come through or whatever. And that's when the Justice League, spoiler alert, kills Steppenwolf in a very vicious and most, excuse me, badass way you ever want to kill a villain. And all the Justice League is sitting there and looking through the portal at Darkseid, and Darkseid kind of crushes Steppenwolf's head and walks away. But on flanking Darkseid is his right hand man Desaad, and on the other side, she didn't have a speaking role, but a very popular character called Granny Goodness. And this Zack Snyder movie, not only left it open for um,
Sequels. Big
a
time.
cyborg movie, a Flash movie. You want to see more of the Martian Manhunter after this movie, and it also left room for you want to know more about Darkseid's world, which
Hmm.
is considered the new guys, the old guy. It's the Darkseid world is very phenomenal in itself. It's a whole story in itself. So there's so much that Warner Brother execs need to eat crow and give Zack Snyder whatever he wants to finish his universe, which is fanboy heaven.
So we are going to let that be the final word on Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture as we dive into the DC Universe Justice League Snyder Cut. Um, it's getting Kenny's thumbs up, definitely. I'm not the biggest fanboy of comics, so I can only give it. I mean, I thought it was a good movie. I just the length of it. You can see why streaming, I guess, makes possible these longer movies.
The only criticism I have is the same criticism that George had
Hmm.
of this movie, which is Zack Snyder. You know how you say every movie Spike Lee does? He does that pan
Hmm.
effect,
Yeah.
dolly
Well, no, he
pan,
does the dolly shot. I call it the dolly shot.
the dolly shot.
Yeah.
Um,
He's gonna
Zack
bring in the
Snyder has a
dolly shot. You know
tendency,
it's gonna happen.
yeah, Zack Snyder has a tendency to use way too much slow motion shots in action movies, and
Uh,
in this movie, he used way too many slow motion shots. If you had to say anything wrong with this movie, that would be it.
so in other words, it would have been a 3 hour movie had he taken out the slow motion.
Maybe, maybe there were one or two scenes he probably could have did without,
Yeah. He
like the long explanation of Superman coming back.
yeah.
When he did come back and him and Lois at the farm, that was kind of drawn out too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, what I know we try to get off, but
Hmm.
also the one thing I liked about this cut, other than the Whedon's movie, was when they resurrected Superman, there was no rhyme or reason behind it. Oh, we need help. Let's resurrect Superman. Boom. But in this Zack Snyder cut, they had a reason for resurrecting Superman. Superman was a catalyst for everything starting from the door. Superman was a catalyst for them, Darkseid invading Earth. Superman's gone. There's nobody to stop you. So let's bring Superman back because now there's somebody to stop you. Because Steppenwolf said, there's no lanterns, there's no unity, and there's no Kryptonian. We could do this now.
Right. I remember that line.
Yeah. So now they had to bring the Kryptonian back. And if you remember the very beginning, when Superman died, that wave went through the Earth, and that's when the boxes started moving for, the signal that, okay, we can come back now.
Right.
And they explained all that, which made total sense. And you doing a Frankenstein for Superman.
All right. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with us on a Saturday night. It's Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. I don't know, are we still going with Star Wars next week? Because I'm not caught up at all. So
okay, well, I thought we were talking about, because I have that benefit next week.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So I think I might do, since my phone works so well, at one point during the benefit, I might do a live stream from the benefit. Next week, what I'm doing is I've been asked to host a benefit here in South Jersey. Someone's giving away turkeys to needy families. During this pandemic, everybody's having a rough time. A lot of people are losing their jobs, can't go back to work. Things happen because of COVID. People are catching COVID. I have someone I'm working with who is in the process of feeding the people in this area, this New Jersey area. And on doing that, it's the day before Easter. So this person decided to give turkeys away. And what I'll do is on our Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture for the South Jersey area, for the people in this area, I will post that link and I'll post a picture on that so you can see that if you're in this area and you want to stop by, I will be hosting the event. We will have entertainment. We will have free turkeys for those who need it, for needy families, so they can have a nice Easter dinner.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So maybe for the stream, we'll cut live to you from the event you're hosting.
Yeah.
And hopefully give support so that anybody who buys a coffee next Saturday, we will donate, or any super chats or anything that comes on the YouTube side, we'll donate all those proceeds to this group who are giving out free turkeys for people to have Easter dinner, especially in this time we're still living in. Because even though, by the way, I get my second shot this week, so
I don't get my second shot until the first week in April.
In April, okay. So even though people are getting the vaccine, there is still COVID out there. So as always, we remind you to, keep your distance, wear your mask, wash your hands, do all the good things so that you can hang out with us again next Saturday night. And we will see you next Saturday night on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.
Yes, please. God bless your soul and keep living, man. Peace.
Peace. We out.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.